Hi guys, I hope you're all keeping well, and today we're going to get into roughly about a 20-minute practice for our hips and our legs, our hamstrings, everything. Just approaching it from different angles with the aim of making it even stronger and even more flexible, because that's what we're always looking for. We're always looking for the balance in between the strength and the flexibility, because they both need each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. We're going to have our feet nice and wide, and if we need to sit up on a block, we do. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow our two knees fall out towards the right side. So what's happening here is the left leg is getting internally rotated, the right leg is getting externally rotated. So this is really good for our legs, for our hips. So we're going to slowly bring them back up and over towards the opposite side. So now it's the right leg that's getting internally rotated, the left leg is getting externally rotated. So always we want to drive the inside of this right knee down into the floor, and we're pressing the outside of the left knee and the left thigh down in towards the floor. Brilliant. That's it. We're going to slowly bring our knees back up and out towards the opposite side. We're going to get into a nice little flow of them. We're going to bring them back up and out towards the left. Brilliant. That's it. Back up in the center and out towards the right. Slowly back in, out towards the left. Inhale up. Exhale out towards the right side. Back up and in and out towards the left. So we're going to pause as we get over towards this side. We can add something onto it if we want. We can press our legs down to come up. This left hand, I'm going to bring the fingertips behind me. I'm going to bring the right palm up, and it's like I'm scooping the air of the right hand up with the right hand, up and over. Getting a nice side stretch. Inhale, gaze at the palm of the right hand. Exhale, slowly come down. Over towards the opposite side. Press our legs down, inhale up. Left hand towards the floor this time. Inhale the right hand up. Exhale down. Over towards the opposite side. Inhale up, left hand down, inhale, gaze the palm of the right hand. Exhale, slowly come down. We're going to come over towards the left side. Press our legs down if we so wish. Inhale, bring the right hand up. Nice big deep breath. Exhale down. Slowly release ourselves. As you can see, we probably scooched ourselves forward a bit because I'm no longer sitting on the mat. So I'm going to come back a bit. Brilliant. And there's something else you can add on to that as well if you want. If they're coming up on your legs, and if doing this doesn't feel good, or if we generally want to try something different as well, what we could do is come out to one side. Doesn't really matter which one. So for me, it's my right side. I'm going to have my fingertips on the floor, and this is going to get a bit of an extra internal rotation and try actively own what we're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive the left knee down into towards the floor, and for me, I'm going to lift the left heel up and bring it down. It doesn't have to come up very high. Even the energetic intention of getting the left leg up is brilliant. I'm going to inhale it up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. One last time. Inhale up, exhale down. I'm going to come over towards the opposite side. Bring the hands down. And it's going to feel different on one side than the other. My right side feels a bit easier. So I'm going to have the fingertips down. And again, pressing the right knee in towards the floor. Lifting the right foot up. Exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. One last time. Inhale up, exhale down. Lovely. Bring our knees back up. Perfect. We're going to come over onto all fours. We're going to get into lizard. We're going to get into a nice beautiful quad stretch. Actually, we're going to get into low lunge first and then lizard. So I'm going to have our hands on the floor. I'm going to have the toes of the left foot curled under. I'm going to have the right foot up. There you go. Brilliant. So if the left knee is uncomfortable on the floor, we just get a nice blanket underneath it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our feet and hips nice and active. So the right foot is pressing down and it's actively dragging back. As you can see, my right knee went forward, which is what we want. And the left foot all the way up into the left thigh. The left leg is trying to energetically hug forward. Lovely. So what we can do is we can press the left knee down into the floor to lift that left heel up. So what we're going to do is we're going to reach back with the left hand to catch the left foot, and I'm going to press. My hand is going to try to bring the heel in towards my left glute, but my foot is going to, my instep is going to press back against my hand. But my hand is going to slowly win, so I'm going to bring my left heel in towards my left glute. Pressing back to the instep, make sure the left leg is nice and still active. Perfect. That's it. And if we want to, we can walk the right foot forward a bit. There you go. Brilliant. That's it. We can really make it a crescent lunge by making mudra. Perfect. Opening up our heart center towards the front, pressing our instep away from us. 1, 2, and release down. Slowly bring our right knee back, bring our left foot forward. We're going to press our feet down, and again we're going to come up into low lunge first, have our hips hugging into midline. We're going to bend into the left knee. Perfect. If we're not breathing, we're not doing yoga anymore, so we're always breathing. We're just putting funny shapes on the mat otherwise. That's it. Hips nice and active. I'm going to lift the right foot up, and I'm going to grab the right foot with the right hand. And if our hand doesn't reach our instep, just get a belt or just get a belt and bring it around your instep. There you go. And again, I want to keep it active. So I'm going to press the instep into my hand, and my hand is going to try to guide that right heel in towards my glute. There you go. And if I don't keep this nice and active, like there, I left muscle energy switch off and it started to wobble. We want to keep everything nice and active, so that left hip is hugging into midline. Because to compensate for the right leg, the left hip, for me anyway, wants to knock out towards the left side. We want to keep our two hips evenly hugging into midline. There you go. Make a mudra with our left hand. A mudra is just an index finger and thumb pressing together. Inhale up. Descending into the right knee. Descending into the left knee. My left and right are getting mixed up. Lovely. 1, 2, slowly release down. I'm going to get into lizard on this side. So I'm going to walk the left foot out towards the edge of the mat, and I'm going to turn the toes away at a 45-degree angle. So if that left foot was the hand of a clock, it would be 10 to 12. Lovely. And again, I want to dig and drag back from the ball of the foot back to the heel. That's going to send my left knee forward, and I'm going to hug the left hip in the midline, and I'm going to walk, if it's available to us, we can walk the right knee further back, and then we can bring our forearms down towards the floor. Perfect. Hips hugging into midline. We can bring our right knee up off the floor if we so wish. We can rock back and forward if we want. And we can even bring the left hand to the inside of the left leg and press that left knee out towards the left side. There you go. That's it. Slowly come back up. Brilliant. Back up onto our hands. Walk the left foot back into center and release the right knee down. We'll bring the left foot back. Nice big deep breath. We'll bring the right foot forward. And the same on this side, I want to walk the right foot so it's to the outside edge of the mat. And the foot is out at a 45-degree angle. So when we bring the foot out, we give more room for the hip to get deep into the hip. If we see a lizard in a magazine or online, you might see the foot hip distance, which is good. But for me, I find it infinitely more accessible for a lot more people. if we have the foot out to the edge of the mat and at about 12. We're going to walk the left knee back, have our hips evenly hugging into midline. Again, the right foot from the ball back to the heel is going to press down and drag back. That's going to send the right knee forward. Perfect. And then we can slowly come down onto our forearms and lift that left knee up. Perfect. And if we want, we can bring the inside of the right hand, the palm of the right hand to the inside of the right knee, and we can press the right knee away. So we're coming out into the knife edge of the right foot. Perfect. Brilliant. There you go. Slowly bringing the right knee back up. So the knee is over the ankle. Bring the right hand back down towards the floor. Coming back up onto our two hands and releasing the left knee down. There you go. Bring the right knee back. Now we're going to shake out our legs, tap out our toes. Brilliant. Lovely. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our way to the front of the mat. So I'm going to get into the hamstrings. So we're going to get into a bit of a flow in between pyramid and some ninja squats. So I'll show you first of all, and then you can break it down super slow and find the right rhythm for our own body. Brilliant. So we're going to start off with the right foot. I'm going to step the right foot to the back of the mat. So we're not stepping it all the way back as if we're coming up for a high lunge. We're pressing it about 3/4 of the way back. Our feet are hip distance. So I'm going to hug my hips into midline. So my two hips evenly hugging into center. That's it. And then from the left foot, again from the ball, back to the heel is going to press down into the floor, dig down into the floor and drag back. And I'm going to draw up muscle energy from the calf up to my thigh, hugging into midline. Perfect. And I have my hands on my hips because this is going to allow me to get a manual tilt, hinging from the hips, so we're not just melting into it, not feeling anything. There you go. That's it. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Release our hands to the floor. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. And our head may even touch our shin or our knee. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. And if there's a bit of a shake and bake in the legs, embrace it. Shaking and baking is your best friend. So we're going to bend into the left knee, press our feet down to come back up, and our hands up onto our left thigh. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down into a ninja squat. So what we can do is we can come down onto our left heel. So our heel can be up off the floor, or we can have our heel down. So whichever one feels better. So for me, I like to have the heel on the floor. So the right foot's going to press down and drag. It's like I'm trying to energetically hug that right leg into my body. And we have a choice of what we want to do here. We can get into the hamstrings like this with the toes pointing up towards the ceiling, or we can get into our adductor muscle on the inside of our leg. So the right foot's going to press down and drag in, or the heel can be pointed, the toes can be pointed up. Lovely. And if we want, we can get into a bind. So if we are, I'm going to bring my left arm back around like this, around the left knee. And I'm going to bring my hands, if it's available to us, interlacing our hands behind our back. Inhale and twist. and exhale. Inhale and twist, and exhale. Slowly releasing our hands towards the floor. So we can use our hands to go over towards the right side like this, walking ourselves over. So the ball of our foot is on the floor and our heel is up. Or if it's available to us, to get deeper into the ankle, we can have the heel on the floor, because that does take a lot of ankle mobility to get the foot flat. Lovely. And again, the left leg is super active. The heel is pressing down and dragging in. If we see a bit of shaking and baking, that is our best friend in the world. Lovely. And again, if we want to take a bind, we can. We can bring the right arm behind the right leg and interlace our hands behind our back. And if our hands don't interlace, you just get something long. We can grab both hands like a belt or a scarf or something. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to press my right shoulder back into my right leg to give myself a bit of leverage as I inhale and twist. And exhale. Inhale and twist. And exhale. Inhale and twist. And exhale. Lovely. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up into pyramid from here. So I'm going to bring our hands towards the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly make my way back up. And I'm going to swivel around to the front. That's it. So I'll do that slowly again. So we can do it separately. If it's available, if we want to add them both together, we do it super slow first. So I'm going to slowly press my right foot down into the floor, then my right heel down onto the floor. I'm going to swivel my hips around to the front of the mat, and I have my left foot down. So we find ourselves in pyramid. I'm going to inhale, half lift, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. My right leg meets out more TLC. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. There you go. Perfect. And in case you're wondering how on earth did you get down into that ninja squat from pyramid the last time, we're going to take it super slow again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the heels up off the floor. I'm going to lean into the right knee. And that still is like, if that still sounds really, really strange, or it doesn't make, we don't feel in our body, we get into them separately and take it nice and slow, or take the transition nice and slow and take all the time we need. There you go. So we're going to find ourselves on this side again. This time we want to get into a flow from one side to another. So we can have our fingers on the floor, or if we want. There you go. And even now I'm actively pressing my left elbow into the inside of my left knee. And again, we have a choice. We can have the heel on the floor or the foot down. Heel up, toes pointing up, hamstrings. Foot down, getting into our adductor muscle. There you go. Slowly going to make our way over towards the opposite side. My left leg super strong. Pressing my right elbow into the inside of my right knee. Inhale up. Make our way over towards the opposite side. Slowly make our way over to the right. One last time, making our way over towards the left. And slowly coming back up into center. So it's like we're in a wide-legged forward fold. So we're going to get into a malasana, a squat. So before we do, we're going to press our feet down to slowly come back up. So our hips should be nice and warm now. And as always, listen to our own body first and foremost. So we're going to spend about 2 minutes down in squat. So we're going to shake out our legs. We're going to have our feet out our shoulder width distance apart, with our feet pointed out at 10 and 2. There you go. So we're going to place our hands on our thighs, and as we begin to descend down, allow our hips to drop down. Our hands will make their way down onto our knees. We can shift our weight from our right foot to our left. Brilliant. That's it. And eventually, we don't want to dump, like, this is me just dumping all the weight into my knees and allow my upper body just to drop. There's nothing really happening there. So what we want to do is we want to make our legs support us. So my hands are actually nice and light on my thighs. Brilliant. So eventually, if it's available, we can stay here, or if it's available to us, we can bring our sit bones, our hips down. There you go. Movement to prayer. I'm going to press my elbows into the inside of my knees. There you go. And again, my knees want to hug in. We get into our hug midline muscles there, our adductor muscles. I'm going to hug our knees in towards our elbows. Our elbows are going to provide resistance. I'm going to point my tailbone down towards the floor and lengthen back my spine. Lovely. And again, we can shift our weight from one foot to another. Lovely. And we're always breathing in and out through our nose. There you go. And again, if we want to take a bind, if it feels good in our body, if it's open to us, we do. So how we do that, it's much like what we were doing a second ago. The left arm is going to come out and around the left knee, and I'm going to try to touch the outside of my left hip with my left hand, even just the fingers. And then I'm going to bring the right hand behind, and we may be able to interlace our hands or hook our fingers. And again, I'm going to inhale, press the left shoulder into the inside of the left knee, and twist, and exhale. Inhale, twist, and exhale. Inhale, and twist, and exhale. That's it. And we're slowly, gently going to release our hands towards the floor. And then come on to the opposite side. The right arm all the way back around. I'm going to touch the inside of our right hip with the right fingers. And I'm going to bring the left arm around. I'm going to try hook fingers or interlace our hands. There you go. And again, I'm going to press my right side body, right shoulder into the inside of my right knee. Inhale and twist and exhale. Inhale and twist and exhale. Inhale and twist and exhale. Lovely. Brilliant. And slowly release our hands down. So we're going to press our feet down, slowly come back up, shake out our legs. We should have a nice awareness around our lower body by now. And awareness is another way of saying our legs should feel like jelly. Lovely. Brilliant. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get into Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined cobbler's pose, or butterfly. So we can actually take Shavasana here if we want. So let's say I have my feet together like I do now and my knees are coming out towards either side. This is a lovely hip opener because we can actually hold a lot of our emotional energy in and around our hips. So we get ourselves into a lovely hip opener, or we bring ourselves through, like we did today, through a flow aimed around our lower body. Things may come up that we didn't even know were there, and it was brilliant. It was really, really good. It's a chance to come back to our breath. It's a chance to allow things to flow. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our feet together. So if our hip flexors, or if the outside of our hips aren't really comfortable, if they're pinchy, we just get 2 bolsters or 2 big cushions and put them underneath our hips. Brilliant. So all we can do, we can stay here, we can stick on the tune if we want, we can stop the video and relax here for 5 to 10 minutes, or if it feels even more comfortable, we could just lie up nice and long for Shavasana. Perfect. Brilliant. Thank you all very much if you've made it this far, and it's always a chance to listen to our body. Once we get into hip work of any kind, it has a tendency to make ourselves aware of things where we didn't know or we forgot were there, and it's a wonderful opportunity just to get even closer to our body and our mind. So, and with that, I will leave you go. Take care of yourselves. Have a lovely day. Namaste.